So I'm going to keep this short on my overall impression of the game, my review on this game, and what I think about this game so far. Well, this is probably Remedy's best title so far. I think it definitely beats Quantum Break by a long shot too. Even though Quantum Break, in my opinion, was a really cool game too. Control, uh, to me, it felt like a expanded universe of the SCP. If you don't know what's SCP, basically it kind of has the same concept as Control. SCP is a lot older too compared to Control too, so Control definitely borrows a lot of things from SCP. But Control does a really good job too in the way it implements it, because SCP is more mysterious, a little bit more on the horror side. And, Control is kind of the same way too, but this game is meant to be an action adventure game, so obviously you can fight entities, supernatural creatures, whichever you find in this game. But SCP is more of a horror thing. But other than that, they both share the same concept, and I think Remedy did a fantastic job in terms of the atmosphere, the lore especially, and the story. Although it does have a very slow build up though at first. But as you keep playing on the game, as you keep exploring this huge fucking areas right here, the game just gets a lot more crazier. Like the story gets a little bit more crazier. The pacing never stops. You'll be fighting enemies here, left, and right. And you'll also fight some new enemies types as well. Although you'll mostly be fighting against the same type of enemies of the hills, which is a little bit disappointing. But I'm glad that they add some different types of them. Like you got one with superpowers, you got brutes, you got guys with miniguns, etc., etc. Pretty cool stuff though. But yeah, like I said, the overall lore and the storyline in this game is fantastic. Like, just think about it. Like, we have a secret agency out there that keeps all these artifacts in place, just to make sure they don't get out from containment and do some actual harm. Which, like I said, it has the same concept as SCP, where you got this agency that gathers all this supernatural items stuff and then contain them, so that way it doesn't cause weird shit in the real world. But Control, I don't know, there's something about Control that really got me hooked in. Like, as soon as I stopped playing this game, it got me hooked in, and I can never stop. And like I said, this game does a fantastic job. The level design in this game, like the areas you can go to, is insane, and I love it that Remedy put a lot of areas that you can't reach there initially, but once you get out like the levitation powers, you get to go there and explore it yourself. And I like all the little hidden secrets that they have placed throughout each section of the areas, like containment, research, and they're pretty big areas too. Like, this is a lot bigger than it looks. Like, it looks small, but there's also areas that goes up and then it goes down, and there's also hidden areas that goes off the map chart as well. And I love the level design. I think Remedy did a really fantastic job in terms of the level design. They did a really fucking great job, and I gotta give big kudos to this, because this is definitely a big, huge improvement over Quantum Break's linear level design, which is okay at first, but it does get a bit dull. But this game is completely non-linear. You can go anywhere you want. There's no invisible walls too, so you can fall off the ledge too, which I like the little extra detail of that. And overall, though, it's a really fantastic game in terms of level design, the story, and the graphics. Let's talk about the graphics. The graphics looks really good, guys. This is probably Remedy's best looking game out there. It does run in the same engine as Quantum Break, but this game looks fantastic. The game doesn't look as blurry as Quantum Break, and it's the character models, the facial expressions. My God, they look fantastic. Like, they look really, really, really good, to the point it looks pretty much real life. But they also add some live action elements, of course, to the views of videos, multimedia, all that stuff. But other than that, most of the time, all the cutscenes are in game, and I like that. I like that a lot, and it looks really good. Like I said, the character models, the facial animations look really good. The voice acting, I have to say, is pretty fantastic as well for most of the characters. You get some returning characters, like the guy who voices Director Trench is the guy who voices Max Payne, which Max Payne is also Remedy's older title. That's probably one of the first big titles. And you got Courtney here. You got Courtney Hope playing as Jessie, who played also Beth Wilder too from Quantum Break as well. She did. I'd say she did a pretty good job too in playing as the main character. I think this is her first big lead role So she did a fantastic job. So good job. And of course, the other voice actors did a fantastic job too. On like Emily Poe, Marshall, everybody they did a fantastic job. I think they did good, especially the janitor, the Finnish janitor. He's a cool guy, and although he doesn't get too much screen time in the game, but he definitely plays a big role in a way. I'm not sure if he's even human or not, but I'm pretty sure he's also a AWE or whichever you call it in this game. I think he's something more special. And what the fuck happened here, game? What the hell happened? Okay, but other than that, yeah. Overall, the visual, the level design is great. Let's talk about the sound design too. The sound design is really good too. Like for like, just the sound like. When you when you have all that fighting, the weapon sound, the creature sound, and the voices too that you hear in your head, it's just fucking crazy. Like it really gets you into the atmosphere. Like you'd be on the edge of your chair all the time. You'd be looking around. Wait, did that come that way or did that come that way? Like it's fucking crazy. Like I love the sound design of this game. Like. Just hearing like, especially if you play with a headphone, which I highly recommend you do. If you play with the headphones or headset, you will hear a lot of things in there that you cannot hear initially due to speakers. Like I highly recommend you guys play this with a headphone or a headset, because you'll be missing a lot of small detail. Like I love the sound design in this game is really good too. The weapons, especially for the different weapon forms for your service gun. It's also fantastic as well, especially the spin. I love the spin because it shoots so fucking fast. It sounds like a P90 when you shoot that thing. It's disgusting. Sadly, the gun's not that great, but it just feels good when you shoot that thing. It sounds good when you shoot that thing. But let's talk about the atmosphere. The atmosphere in this game is spot on. It's creepy, it's moody, it's grim. It also keeps you on the edge as well because you never know what could come out to the door. Because there was one part. An elevator popped out, and there was one of those suicide or kamikaze kids comes out of nowhere from the elevator. It actually caught me by surprise too. But I like it when they add jump scares at the unexpected moment where you think, oh, I'm good, and then out of nowhere a fucking hiss comes out. And yeah, I really like this game. This game is really fun. Really fun to game. Really fun to play. And let's talk about the gameplay design. And the gunplay. Way better than Quantum Break. Quantum Break, in my opinion, has one of the worst gunplay I've ever seen, and Control definitely makes some huge improvement from the gunplay. It's not clunky. It's not the bullet spread doesn't go all fucking ridiculous like Quantum Break does. So I'm glad they removed that random bullet spread thing. You still get that with the spin weapon form, but only if you shoot it in full auto, that is. So if you shoot in full auto, that thing is going to go fucking everywhere. So shoot that thing in short control bursts. But yeah, the gunplay feels good, the movement system feels good, and the powers are just absolutely fantastic. I love fucking flying everywhere and reach to places that you cannot reach initially. I love that how you get an ability of shield, where you can cover yourself from enemy fire, or if you can dodge any incoming attack as well. But my favorite ability would have to be the launch. The launch would have to be your most essential ability that you can use in the game. I can't say to not recommend upgrading the launch ability first. And because of that, from all the bullshit you go up against in the end game, launch would be your best friend. So my advice is to upgrade that to the max as fast as you can. And then get personal upgrades too. On top of that, get personal upgrades that makes you launch the power less. That takes less energy, because if you use that power a lot, it does take a lot of your energy bar. Even with the energy bar to the max, it's going to take a lot. So I highly recommend to get one of the personal mods that makes you use the launch that takes less energy. That would be more combat effective. But yeah, launch will have to be your most essential ability to have in the game. You need to have that. It's highly recommended. It does a lot of damage to you. Upgrade to the max. It's just, you gotta have it. It's really necessary, guys. Seize, all I have to say, Seize will have to be one of the second essential ability too. Because if you're feeling you're being overwhelmed, then Seize is the way to go. Because at least with this ability, you can take control of enemies. And then you can have them fight for you. And if you upgrade the Seize ability even more, you can even take over larger enemies. So like the guys with the attack with like the big guys with the little shield around them, with the little debris around them. Those big guys, you can take control of them, and they will help you out. And yeah, I would highly recommend upgrading that. Next to levitation 2, highly essential 2 to get to areas that you cannot go initially. I will also upgrade that too. And for like the extra like melee, energy, health, those are, you don't have to upgrade those fully, but it does make the game a little bit easier for you. That way you don't die as fast, or you don't run out of the energy bar as fast when you use the power abilities. So it's up to you guys. But yeah, like I said, the secrets that they added throughout the whole level in different sections of the game is a very fantastic job. Remedy did a good job. And the only complaints, I have a few minor complaints and one big complaint, which you probably see some of the rage on the final fight, which you probably know what the hell I'm talking about. But let's talk about some flaws this game has. The game does get a little bit repetitive, so the gameplay wise, despite how good it is, it can get a bit stale. It can get a bit dull and boring, because you be doing the same shit. You get telekinesis power, throw shit at people. You get telekinesis power and throw shit at each other. It's almost the same thing, rinse and repeat, and it does get a bit dull, especially if you keep finding the same enemies over and over again. But also let's talk about, let's see what other flaws I gotta talk about. Oh yeah, let's talk about the end game. The end game level design for that, I fucking hate it. I fucking hate it because the game literally wants you to be on you throughout all times. So it decided to do a bunch of fucking enemies all at once, to the point it gets too overwhelmed. Despite the powerful abilities you have, they decided to bring so many enemies in that last segment where you gotta cleanse the siphons. It just fucking pisses me off, to the point it's like, alright game, now you're being a real piece of shit and start spawning a huge amount of enemies all at once, to the point I'm caught off guard. Granted, it's probably my fault, but still, it really fucking pisses me off when they added enemies behind your back, and then they fucking got a sniper that one-shots you, because this game has no difficulty scale. It's all level based, so the higher level they are, the more faster they can kill, essentially. And also, let's talk about the checkpoint system. Yeah, checkpoint system. Garbage, as always in this game, so as in every other fucking Remedy game. Like, Quantum Break was one of the first examples of bad fucking checkpoint system. This game, I know the channel go with the control point. If you die, you respawn there, but it is fucking very irritating if you gotta do that whole segment again just because some fucking bullshit enemy spawn fucks you over. Like, I hate checkpoints like this. Like, it's fucking bullshit. But nevertheless, I got it through. I dealt with it. But Remedy really needs to stop putting this stupid bullshit checkpoint system, because it's really pissing me off. Like, Quantum Break, I would say it's probably so bad, so much worse compared to Control, but Control really got me on my nerves on that last mission. Like, it really did. This game had a good flow going on until that last mission really fucking pisses me off. But like I said, luckily we dealt with it, so we don't have to do with that shit again, hopefully. But yeah, let's talk about the weapons too. Like, despite how cool the weapons are, I have a feeling they don't do it that much damage, in my opinion. Like, despite the upgrades I got level 4 to level 5 upgrades, but most of the time these guns, they felt weak at some point in the game. I don't know why. Like, I have the Pierce, right? Pierce is like the most powerful weapon forms you get in the game. I would shoot a guy in point blank range. He has a full health bar, and you have like a little tiny health bar left. Like, I don't know, I have no idea how the fuck that's even possible. And the shatter weapon form, which I think is personally my least favorite weapon form, because it's just not that great. It's good early on in the game, but later on in the game, its effectiveness is just not that great anymore. Like, it's supposed to be a shotgun type of weapon form, but it's just not that great. It doesn't deal enough damage. Even you're at very close range with that thing, it just does not do shit. It's useless, essentially. I just don't like the shatter once it comes to late game. I haven't really tried out charge yet, but it's supposed to be like some sort of explosive weapons, but I don't know. Not really a fan of it, so I decided not to use that. The spin, it's a very cool weapon form, but the damage it does is absolutely garbage. Absolutely shit. you can be up to the face and you waste a whole fucking magazine on them, and they'll still be alive still. And that, I don't know, most of those weapon forms just don't have that oomph once you get to late game for some reason. Like, I don't know. Like, the enemies get more spongy as you keep progressing to the more game, and I really fucking hate it when the games made enemies spongy. Like, look at The Division, for example, and a few other games that does the same shit. I just hate bullet spongy enemies. Like, just don't do it. Like, just don't do it. But other than that, and I would have to minor gripe here. The pacing, like I said, is a bit slow. So I was kind of getting let's get over it to the main story quicker. But once the game pick up to a certain pace, then the game just never stops there. But it does have a slow build up. You will have to keep playing the game if you want to get further into the story, because it does get a bit dull, and it does. I don't know. It's just something about the pacing I just don't really like it. All right, so. Other than that, guys, I'm gonna end it here for now for Control. Would I recommend this game? Absolutely. I would highly recommend this game. I would definitely would be looking forward to future expansion pack, which they have announced already. The Foundation and AWE, which AWE posts a link to Alan Wake, and I would be very interested of how that goes, because Alan Wake. It's one of my favorite Remedy games too. I forgot about Alan Wake too. Alan Wake is pretty cool too. Kind of involves supernatural stuff too. But now that it is tied with Control, now it kind of makes more sense now in a way. And hopefully we'll probably go back to Bright Falls and see what happens, because they've been hinting at already with the AWE expansion. So we'll see what happens, guys. Because I'm definitely looking forward in returning to Bright Falls. Who knows? I might play Alan Wake again, because I haven't played that game in years, so I would definitely be looking forward to playing that game in the future. But other than that, guys, I highly recommend getting Control. It's available on all platforms too, so highly recommend you guys pick this game up. Try it out for yourself, and hopefully you guys enjoy this game, because I definitely enjoy this game. I'm definitely will be coming back to this game once DLC comes out. But yeah, guys, I'm gonna end it here for now. And if you guys enjoyed the series, hit that like button. And if you guys didn't, hit the dislike button. It's all up to you. But I definitely enjoyed this game overall. Highly recommend to get this game. It's a fantastic game, and I really hope Remedy can make some more interesting games in the future. But yeah, guys, if you guys got any other games you want to suggest for me to play, or any secrets that I have missed in the game but you want me to go back and find it, let me know in the comments down below, and I'll check them out, guys. But yeah, guys, until then, I'll see you in the next one. Peace. Alla synkän valtameren varjois vaeltaa. Etsi tietä valon luokse armaan ainiaan.